In 1900, Milton Hershey sold the Lancaster Caramel Company for $1 million. It was the business that had made him successful after years of failure. But he did not sell everything. Hershey retained his chocolate company and its machinery, then concentrated his capital on making milk chocolate affordable to millions of people who rarely bought it. The decision sounds inevitable because the Hershey name now means chocolate. At the time, caramel was the proven operation. It had customers, factories, formulas, and international distribution. Milk chocolate was difficult to produce consistently and still behaved like a premium product. Hershey was exchanging a known profit engine for a market he believed could become much larger. Hershey was born in 1857 near Derry Church, Pennsylvania. Formal school did not hold his attention, and an apprenticeship in printing ended badly. He then apprenticed with a Lancaster confectioner, where he learned to make candy. That trade gave him a usable skill, but skill alone did not make his early businesses work. His first candy shop in Philadelphia failed. He tried again in other cities, including New York, and failed again. Each attempt consumed money and support from relatives, yet the failures exposed him to new recipes, equipment, and regional tastes. In Denver, he encountered techniques for making caramel with fresh milk, an insight he carried back east. Failure did not automatically teach a lesson. Hershey's advantage was that he kept converting experience into a more specific operating model. He learned which products traveled well, how milk affected texture, where demand existed, and why undercapitalized shops broke under pressure. By the time he returned to Lancaster, he was not beginning with the same assumptions. In Lancaster, Hershey found demand for caramels made with fresh milk. A large order helped prove the product could sell beyond the local market. The Lancaster Caramel Company grew into a major manufacturer with customers in the United States and abroad. After repeated failure, Hershey finally had scale, cash flow, and a product buyers already understood. Caramel also trained the organization. The company had to purchase ingredients, manage heat and timing, standardize batches, package candy, and ship it without destroying quality. Those capabilities would later matter in chocolate. The successful business was not merely a source of sale proceeds. It was a laboratory for mass-producing a sensitive food product. At the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, Hershey saw industrial chocolate-making equipment from Germany. He purchased machinery and installed it in Lancaster. Chocolate was not a sudden idea that appeared in 1900. Hershey spent years developing the capability alongside his caramel company, while the older business continued paying the bills. The Hershey Chocolate Company was established in 1894 as a related operation. Early chocolate products could coat caramels or be sold separately. This structure gave Hershey an option. He could learn about chocolate without immediately abandoning the proven company. The smaller operation accumulated knowledge before he made the concentrated bet. Hershey's thesis was that caramel might remain popular, but chocolate had the potential to become an everyday food. The obstacle was price. If milk chocolate could be manufactured consistently at high volume, it could move beyond wealthy consumers. The opportunity, therefore, depended on process engineering, agricultural supply and scale, not just on advertising a new flavor. The 1900 sale transferred the Lancaster Caramel Company, including major caramel assets, formulas, and business rights. Hershey kept the Hershey Chocolate Company and the chocolate machinery. That separation is the key to the decision. He did not walk away from manufacturing. He sold the mature system while retaining the option he believed contained the future. The final sale was completed on August 10, 1900, for $1 million. The price gave Hershey substantial capital, but the contract also mattered. It defined what the buyer received and what Hershey could continue operating. The headline number attracts attention. The retained company, equipment, and accumulated knowledge explain what he could do next. Selling the winner created 3 advantages. It removed the managerial pull of caramel, supplied capital for a new factory, and forced strategic focus. It also increased risk because Hershey no longer had the same diversified operating base. Concentration can create extraordinary results, but only when the retained opportunity is more than an untested idea. Hershey chose to build near his birthplace in rural Pennsylvania rather than remain in an established industrial city. Dairy farms could supply fresh milk, land was available, and rail connections could move ingredients and finished products. The location was not sentimental alone. It placed a critical input close to a factory designed for enormous volume. Developing a stable milk chocolate formula required experimentation. Milk contains water, fat, and proteins that complicate texture and shelf life. European producers guarded their methods. Hershey's team had to make the product work with American milk, American machinery, and the price point required for a mass market. The factory and the formula evolved together. The factory required more than production lines. Workers needed housing, transportation, utilities, and public services. Hershey helped develop a surrounding community with streets, homes, and amenities. This could stabilize the workforce and support growth, although company-centered towns also concentrate economic power in the employer. The production system extended beyond the factory walls. Mass production changed the market. Lower unit costs made chocolate accessible more often and to more customers. Distribution and brand recognition expanded the effect. Hershey did not win by making chocolate more exclusive. He built around repetition, consistency, and affordability, turning an occasional luxury into something that could be sold at national scale. Milton and Catherine Hershey had no children. In 1909, they established a school for orphaned boys, now Milton Hershey School. In 1918, Hershey transferred the bulk of his wealth and company ownership to the school trust. The ownership decision tied the company's long-term value to an educational institution rather than ordinary inheritance. That structure is part of the business story, because ownership determines who benefits from future cash flow. Hershey's philanthropy did not sit outside the enterprise as a series of occasional donations. It became connected to the asset itself. The company could outlive the founder while supporting a mission he and Catherine had selected. The first lesson is to separate the current winner from the future opportunity. Revenue proves that a business works now. It does not prove that it has the largest future. Hershey used a working caramel company to learn manufacturing and build value, then sold it when the proceeds could accelerate a market with greater potential. The second lesson is to inspect what remains after a sale. Price receives the headline, but retained intellectual property, equipment, teams, and legal rights determine the next move. Hershey preserved the corporate and physical base for chocolate. The $1 million mattered because he still owned somewhere productive to put it. Milton Hershey's biggest decision was not abandoning success for a random dream. He spent years testing chocolate beside a profitable caramel operation. Then he sold the mature winner, retained the promising option, and rebuilt production around a larger market. The candy bar came later. The money move was deciding what to sell, what to keep, and where to concentrate.